FBI Director Christopher Wray is speaking out on his planned resignation before President-elect Trump takes office. Wray oversaw the largest case in FBI history. That is, of course, the investigation into the January 6th Capitol attack. In his only broadcast exit interview, Wray spoke with Scott Pelley for 60 Minutes about his departure.
The president-elect had made clear that he intended to make a change, and the law is that is something he's able to do for any reason or no reason at all. My conclusion was that the thing that was best for the Bureau was to try to do this in an orderly way, to not thrust the FBI deeper into the fray.
CBS News Justice Department reporter and producer Rob Legare joins us now to talk about this. So, Rob, in addition to the Trump classified documents investigation, of course, Christopher Wray led the investigation into President Biden's handling of classified documents, in addition to President Trump's handling of those documents. How is Wray reflecting on his leadership?
Hey, good morning, Vlad. Good to see you. So, as we saw in that interview and in that clip that just preceded your question, Wray wanted to take the focus, he says, from him to the men and women of the FBI. And so when the intention was broadcast from the president-elect that he intended to replace Wray with an ally, Kash Patel, Wray made the decision last month to step down in the coming days. Now, Wray stood by all of the decisions of the FBI under his tenure. He did not back down and made clear in his interview with Scott Pelley that his decision to resign had nothing to do with his decision-making, but more shifting the focus to the agents of the FBI. It's important to point out that Wray was appointed by Trump in 2017. Wray was appointed after Trump fired James Comey in the midst of the Trump-Russia investigation. Now, FBI Director Chris Wray stayed on through the Trump administration and through the Biden administration. He's leaving after 7 years, which some FBI directors can stay up to 10 years. But as he pointed out in that clip, any president has the power to replace an FBI director at any time for any reason.
So Wray also, as you know, Rob, made a point to emphasize that China is the greatest threat long-term to the United States and the generation that follows. Talk about why it was so important of a point for him to make.
Right. So for those of us who cover him day in and day out, cover the Justice Department day in and day out, this was not a surprise. Wray at congressional hearings, at press conferences, has made clear that China, he views, is the greatest threat, particularly the People's Republic of China's government. He says that they're using their advanced cyber technology skills, their hacking skills to steal government information, to steal proprietary U.S. information for the benefit of their government. And he said, and repeated these warnings that he has said in the past, they have embedded themselves in U.S. infrastructure across the country, waiting for a time where it might be, good for them to act and take down that infrastructure. We saw just in the lead up to the presidential election, actually, reporting here at CBS that the Chinese government had infiltrated multiple telecom companies throughout the country, AT&T, Verizon. These companies were infiltrated by Chinese hackers, and they could have listened in on some of the most sensitive government systems.
Let me ask you about the special prosecutor, the special counsel, Jack Smith, who resigned as the special counsel for the DOJ over the weekend. So what happens now to the report that Jack Smith had been working on? Does it? The American people will never see the light of that report?
Well, just to back up a little bit, the Justice Department didn't announce Jack Smith's resignation like they did his appointment. Instead, this was slipped in a footnote in a court document on Saturday. And so they basically said that Jack Smith had left the department on Friday. But as you pointed out, his report, a 2-volume report he's revealed in court documents dealing with both his investigation into Trump's conduct after the 2020 election and the president-elect's alleged mishandling of classified records. Both of those cases resulted in cases that have now been dismissed. Trump and his co-defendants denied wrongdoing on all those cases, but the report itself still exists. The Attorney General, by Justice Department regulation, receives that report and has already done so from the special counsel. And Attorney General Merrick Garland has made good on a promise that he made in the beginning of his term that he would release publicly any report by any special counsel. He did so in the Biden investigation as well, that was talked in the beginning. And so now the future of the specific January 6th, 2020 election report, that hangs in the balance as appeals on the classified documents case go on. So we await a ruling from the judge in the coming hours or days.
All right, Rob Legare for us this morning. Rob, thank you.
Thanks, Vlad.